you're probably starting to hear conversation about digital twins or a virtual likeness of a person that can speak, can move, can act like the actual human, but is created by artificial intelligence. Now, a lot of this is stemming from the SAG-AFTRA strike and what's happening right now over in Hollywood, and this actually has major implications on influencers as well. In fact, this can dramatically impact what we are doing with our brand deals, and we need to have a conversation about it now before this technology becomes even more widespread and people are unaware of how they can navigate their contracts to make sure it is serving both parties and not just one. Let's talk to everybody's favorite IP and entertainment lawyer to make sure you are legally protected with this brand new part of our entrepreneurial endeavors.
My name is Tony Iliakostas. I'm an adjunct professor of entertainment law and IP at New York Law School, and I have an Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok account called The IP Professor that is dedicated to all things intellectual property.
There's been a lot of conversation recently about digital twins, having actors creating digitalized versions of themselves for work in movies, for work in commercials, and things like that. And that also impacts things like influencers. Tony, can you talk to us a little bit about what we might start to see in the future and what we need to be aware of on the legal side of things?
So first things first, I think that the mass proliferation of AI has really gotten out of control. I hate to be that guy. And listen, I think it's innovative. I think it's truly something that we did not expect to see happen this fast. We've seen instances of AI kind of becoming a bit more popular over the last maybe 5 years or so, but the mass scale of generative AI is something that I think has been a rapid growth scale that, is the AI market going to be a bubble? I don't know, to be determined, but, something that I think is worthwhile paying attention to. Now, that said, influencers, you need to be careful with AI, especially you guys, because oftentimes you already get a lot of influencers already get, I want to say disadvantaged, or I want to use a little bit of a harsher word, pushed around, if you will, by brands. And it happens because brands think that they have a one-up against you. There are times, unfortunately, where brands will sign contracts with influencers, and influencers will not realize how many rights they're single-handedly giving away just from a limited campaign. Let's say you got a makeup campaign with Sephora. What if Sephora were asking in your contract, you're giving away all the rights to this video that you're making for us. You cannot use this video without permission. We're going to monetize off of it. You will not monetize off of it. We're just paying you the flat fee to be a part of this campaign. And by the way, anytime you do any future makeup video, we're going to get a royalty share from monetization. That could be a reality. That's something that could happen. Now, that's a bit of an extreme, but there are situations where brands will be cutthroat and they will ask for a lot, even though you're doing something at that is a bare minimum for them as a brand for a specific campaign. So if that's happening now, this could happen with digital twinning, with AI renditions, with any campaign that you do in the future, where a brand can take your likeness, the way your voice sounds, and perpetually use it in marketing campaigns that maybe you your physical self weren't even a part of, or didn't create organically for that specific brand. And yet you may not know that in a given brand partnership contract, you gave those rights away to that specific brand. So I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. Hiring a lawyer is going to be very helpful to this whole aspect of the contract negotiation phase. The money's going to be great, and surely the exposure is going to be great with the brand. But what you don't want to compromise is a good cash payday for your rights. At the end of the day, your rights are an invaluable asset. There is no dollar amount to that. So especially when it comes to your name, image, and likeness, your personality rights, though that is personal to you. My personality rights are personal to me. KM's personality rights are personal to her. Anyone else's personality rights are personal to themselves. So in the same vein, you can't be so quick to give away your rights without having thoughtfully read every single term of the contract that you're working on with a brand to make sure that you're not giving and compromising those rights. Having a good lawyer helping you navigate that aspect of the contract now, pre-AI and post-AI, is going to be a great way to save yourself a headache. And if anyone doesn't believe me, Haley Page is the perfect case study for something like this. Haley Page was a wedding dress designer. She built a name for herself with her brand, Haley Page. she signed a contract with I'm blanking on the name of it, but a major wedding dress company. And it turned out that the contract that she signed with this major brand included the complete surrender of her name. And so when she eventually parted ways with this wedding brand, she couldn't even use her own name, Haley Page, for any marketing purposes to make a new clothing line. She had to start from scratch. It led to years long litigation, and ultimately she ended up losing. So Haley Page became a victim because apparently she never had her lawyer review the contract. And I think that that's a cautionary tale to any influencer who thinks that the payday is going to be great, and yet they don't see what rights they're giving away. So lawyers reviewing these contracts is a very, very essential part of the process. Do it now, make it muscle memory so that when AI becomes a reality for brands and they want to invoke this use in the future, you know, and you work with a brand in the future, you know that you're not quick to give away your personality rights that effectively, such that a brand can use your name, image, or likeness, even the way you sound, for branded campaigns using generative AI, and all the while you didn't know that you gave those rights away.
And I think it is valuable to point out that you need to make sure, if you are going to be doing something like this, it should be in a limited capacity. Like Tony said, have your lawyer, make sure you are negotiating that contract and you're looking everything over before you sign anything. But know right now, even though we may not have direct access to this technology in this very moment, you need to be able to limit what you are doing. If you're working with a brand, limit the time, the way, the abilities they have, and the access they have to you, because you may not want to just be exclusive to one location. You may want to be working with multiple brands, and you're going to need to make sure that they're not using it well into the future, or using it in, like Tony said, ways that you do not want to be seen as. You got to make sure that you have those very close limits that you can extend later, which means more licensing rights for you. It's a smart business move. But you want to make sure that they are as limited as possible to protect yourself until we learn a little bit more about this. And as you are working with a lawyer, work with one who understands, or is at very least researching this before they go into reading the contract, so that somebody has a proper framework and lens to be looking at that contract through. If you've got questions on this, go ahead and drop it down below. We want to keep influencers legally protected here on the channel. So Tony's coming back for upcoming episodes. So anything in the legal space of influencership and entrepreneurship and IP and entertainment, we want to make sure we're getting answered for you. Drop those down below. And as always, you can reach out to Tony on his social media. Tony, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at the IP Professor. And you can check out my entertainment law podcast called NScene. New episodes drop every Friday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hit that subscribe and notification bell, because every single day we're dropping brand new videos to help you navigate the world of entrepreneurship and influencing. We want to keep you legally protected, so Tony's coming back for more, but we're also helping you on marketing, on content creation, and on making this your most profitable year ever. We are happy to get your questions answered, to test out things that are working or not working for you, or could potentially help you in the future. And we are following along with all the breaking developments in the world of AI, technology, and entrepreneurship to keep you at the forefront of your industry. We will see you in the upcoming episodes.